Hey guys, just a little review here. If you remember this is 1 point perspective. This was the boxes, and if you remember, we drew the front of the boxes first, and then we drew them all back to the vanishing point, that central vanishing point. This is 1 point perspective, so it has one vanishing point, and then we drew the back sides of the boxes. And in this case, where we have a finished box, we erase the extra lines. So what we're going to do today is just this next assignment is to do your name in 1 point perspective. Now here's an example of a word that is below, when actually the word is below the horizon line, and so we're going to see the tops of the letters. So we're just going to kind of really quickly go through and show you how to do that. Now, you just take your straight edge, you make the horizon line across the, if you're going to do them down below, you make the horizon line up top and put the vanishing point right in the middle. Just for something different, let's go, if our name was going to be, we want you to do your name, okay, first or last or both. You can choose to put it above the horizon line, on the horizon line, or below the horizon line. If you're going to put it above, put the horizon line down low. If you're going to put it, like we did with the sample word, below the horizon line, then put the horizon line up here so we have lots of room. So let's put it down below, and you're just going to simply write your name. So I'm just going to put the letter N. And you want to kind of do bubble letters. You can use a straight edge if you want. Doesn't really matter. And I'm not going to do the whole word because I want you to have this be a quick video. So now I just put my pencil right on the vanishing point, and I rotate my ruler, and wherever it hits a corner of that letter, I draw it back to the vanishing point. Put my pencil back on the vanishing point. Now, I don't ever draw through a letter. So like up here on the corner of the N, I'm not going to draw that because it would go through the letter. I don't want to do that. So I put it back on the vanishing point, move it up here to this letter, or to this corner here. Back on the vanishing point, rotate it to the next corner. Here's one here. Okay, here's that top one. That would go through the letter, so I don't do it. Again, that one would go through the letter. Every little nook and cranny, every little corner or bump, you draw back to the vanishing point. Okay? Now, if there was another letter there, I would stop when it got to the other letter. So, as you see on the word below, the lines in red, so I have all these lines drawn back to the vanishing point, and then the back of the letters do the same thing that the front does, but we can't see all of the back of the letters. So whatever shows up, we do the same thing that the front does. So for example, on this L back here, see the front goes over, down, over, and down. So the back goes over, down, over, and down. Okay, the O, now the curves, I'll show you how to do a curved letter in just a little bit, but the curved letter, the O in the front goes like this between those two lines, and so in the back it goes like that between those two lines. Okay, so sometimes they tuck out of sight, and you've just got to imagine that smaller W, slightly smaller W back there doing the same thing that this front one does. And then you put in what would be those red lines. Let's do a round letter. Now, this is going to make the word no. Okay, there's an O, or a 0, or whatever you want to call it. Okay, bullseye. And so, again, I'll put my pencil on the vanishing point, put my ruler against it, and then I rotate the ruler until it touches the O. And wherever it touches the O is the so-called corner of the O. See how that works? So now I do this side. Here, I'll do it left-handed. Put my pencil on the vanishing point, move my ruler to the O, and wherever it touches it, that's where I put my line. Okay? And so now the back sides of these letters, so these are kind of lined up. So the back of these two sides, let's make it about this thick. I'm gonna go here, and then I skip to these, and that's lined up. And that's the back side of these two sides right here. Now here it goes over and up. So that back here it's gonna go over and then up until it touches that other side. And then this goes over and up, clear up to there at a slight angle. So I go over and up at a slight angle. And there you go. And then I would erase all these extra lines, and I end up with a long three-dimensional 1-point perspective end. Well, that's very well, Mr. O'Neill, but how do you do the O? Well, the O is going to be about in line with the end. So back here, I make it about in line. Okay, and so if I put a line there, it would be touching about right here, and it would go like that. So I'm just going to go like that back there, and there's the end of my O. Okay, so you're going to do your whole name, and then you're going to go ahead and shade it in. Now, you can ask yourself, okay, maybe the sun is over here, so the light source is kind of coming down from here. If that's the case, then this would be the darkest here, and since it's a curved surface, this would be kind of lighter here, and then blend to darker, and then kind of go like that. And this is underneath, so this would be quite dark because it's the opposite side of where the light's hitting. And I would just probably leave the face of the letters white. Now this is in here where the light can't hardly get to it anyway, so I'll probably color that all quite dark. And then this would be very light. We wouldn't see that one. And then probably down below here would be quite dark. So I would go ahead, I'm not gonna take the time to do the whole thing, but I'd go ahead and color both of these shapes in quite dark. So just to let you see, I did shade, see the difference there? These ones are up above so we can see the bottom. These ones are down below so we can see the top. You could put them like this, I suppose, if you wanted to, okay? And that kind of makes sense. You could do your first name up here and your last name down there if you really wanted to. Some people, this is really easy for them. But take a look at the shading on this word below, okay? That's shaded pretty good. Now that's shaded, I'd say that's shaded, maybe the light was kind of like over here, coming down like this. And I probably ought to shade the O on the sides just a little bit like that. Maybe just a little bit like that and like this here, okay? But there you go, okay? So first name, last name, middle name, whatever name you want to do. If you want to do, again, if you want to, you get to pick. Do you want to do it right on the horizon line? Do you want to do it above? Do you want to do it below? You can do one above and one below if you want, and then you're going to color and shade them. Alrighty, so good luck. And this is getting us ready for the next assignment, which is going to be a fair bit more detailed and a little more complicated, or maybe a lot more complicated. So good luck.